Sports psychologists are witnessing contemporary era of sports psychology past many years. I think it is after 1960. Uh, we are continuously witnessing the contemporary era of sports psychology and all the progress which have been made both professionally and academically. We have seen research has been gone so far, and currently since 2023 and 2024, we are kind of witnessing the introduction of artificial intelligence along with other technologies like virtual reality, augmented reality. And so there are biofeedback, neurofeedback technologies also, which are there from now since quite long time. And so today we will delve into the topic of neurofeedback and biofeedback. Uh, Karanbir Singh, I welcome all of you to our fifth episode of Sports Site Talk podcast, India Ka Apna Sports Talk Show. Today we have a very special speaker with us, Dr. Bettina Seitlinger. She is from Austria. And I would like to welcome Dr. Bettina, and I want you to introduce yourself to our audience, please. Just tell about yourself, your experiences, your professional and academic background.
Okay, hello, my name is Bettina, and I'm very happy to be here. Myself, I work with feedback and neurofeedback for a few years now. I think it's over a decade, and I'm the scientific director of the European Biofeedback Academy, where we have created a curriculum for psychologists to learn how to use these techniques to improve well-being and performance in sports, but also in health in general. And I'm happy to share my insights on that topic today with you.
So, Dr. Bettina, can you please give us an overview of neurofeedback and biofeedback technologies? Uh, if you can give us the idea of the background of these technologies, the origin of this technology, and what these technologies are all about.
Biofeedback and neurofeedback is all about learning. So humans can learn to regulate their brain and their nervous system once they have the opportunity to see what's going on inside. Normally, we don't know what the brain is doing or what is the heart doing. And the technology of biofeedback and neurofeedback makes it possible to visualize that process so that you can see on a computer screen, for example, what is my brain doing right now. You cannot see what exactly a person is thinking, but you can see, is the person in a mental state that is relaxed or aroused, concentrated, focused, and that can help to work within mental training to make that visible.
Yes, so actually, yes, neurofeedback and biofeedback technologies are all about visualization of our internal world. Actually, what goes through our mind and what goes within our body, whether it is physiological parameters or the cognitive parameters. It is really, really true, very true that most of us really don't know. Uh, Bettina, my next question is so in one thing is health and fitness. In area or in the field of health, biofeedback and neurofeedback is being used from quite a long time. I just want to ask you the importance or the interrelationship of biofeedback, neurofeedback training in sports. If you can please highlight with a couple of examples, or that would be nice.
Absolutely. So biofeedback and neurofeedback are valuable tools in sports psychology as they provide athletes with real-time information about their physiological and neurological states. The awareness allows athletes to regulate their mental and physical processes, leading to improved performance and overall well-being. Let me explain that a little further using an example. Athletes often feel that they are stressed or cannot focus and report that to a sports psychologist. But they often cannot name exactly how they feel it. While mental training, you cannot see where within the nervous system the stress makes problems. Is it a heightened pulse rate, heightened muscle tension, blood pressure, heightened alertness within the central nervous system, etc.? As a psychologist, you know that in general the use of relaxation techniques is helpful. So you train with your clients to use them. But within the process, you cannot know for sure if the athlete uses them right. You are kind of flying blind. And using biofeedback and neurofeedback, you bring an objective measurement into the game so that in a first step, you can analyze which bodily functions are actually affected by stress or negative thoughts or doubts about failure. In a second step, you can choose the relaxation technique the athlete will benefit the most and train while continuously giving live feedback to your client and reward his brain itself within milliseconds for optimal training efficiency. And this personalized training maybe is more time consuming in the beginning, but more time efficient and sustainable in the end. Another advantage is the factor of motivation. You may work with a client who is not yet fully convinced that mental states are a crucial factor for best performance in sports competition, for example. Especially young athletes who just entered professional sports training often focus on the body. They want to build muscles, endurance, which of course is crucial and important. But in the end, only the right state of mind allows an athlete to use his body strength efficiently to succeed. And as biofeedback and neurofeedback measures bodily functions directly, you can impressively show the collaboration of body and mind. And therefore, it is more likely that athletes see the importance and possibilities of mental training faster and have much more faith in it as well.
How can effective this modalities are neurofeedback and biofeedback? Practically, I'm asking whether I'm aspects for using biofeedback after 6, 7 years now, and I have struggled basically to uh, use it on field. So, can you please give an idea how we can really implement neurofeedback, biofeedback technologies on field? Suppose I'm working on the archers or the shooters, and I do need their real-time brain activity data while they are training, and I also want to see what changes are taking place in terms of their heart rate variability or maybe pulse rate, or we can say some other parameters. We can talk about skin conductance is one such parameter, uh, because I still believe myography or electromyography EMG is little bit uh, more complex and intricate. So can you please give us the idea how practical it is to apply biofeedback technologies, neurofeedback technologies on ground? It is being used nowadays more frequently in other countries, or if you can add some example.
Mhm. So, biofeedback and neurofeedback in general have been shown to be highly effective in enhancing peak performance training for athletes in case studies. For example, there are also some studies where group of people have been examined, it is difficult because every sport is different and every athlete is different. And the problem you mentioned is really important, that it is not easy to measure all that physiological processes while the athletes are doing their sport. So usually what you do is that you make a training before they go in the competition or the training. So it is kind of a mental training before that is has an add-on with the biofeedback and neurofeedback technology. Yeah.
So training, you mean training in the lab actually. It is not on-field training. It is kind of off-field within the lab. You need to train your athlete while giving them a different situations. You can create some simulation or you can give them some psychological situations if you have an opportunity. Uh, is it?
Exactly. But even though it's only a lab condition, the physiological parameters react. Maybe not that strong as they would in a real competition, for example, but you can say, please close your eyes and now think you're standing in front of the thing you want to shoot, for example. And you see, especially in the skin conductance level, there is a reaction. And normally it goes up, 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 and at some point it goes down again. And the athletes say, yeah, I didn't feel a thing. I was just sitting there looking at the screen. But when you show them afterwards, they see, okay, a little thought like that, just the imagination is enough to make a body reaction. And the next step you can do is to work live with the feedback so that the athlete learns how to feel the point of arousal. So when there's too much arousal, so that he would make an error, he shouldn't shoot, for example. So you work on that awareness when he is the right amount of arousal, not too relaxed, not too stressed, where he can do his peak performance. And by repetition, this feeling goes into your memory. And then on field, they have to memorize that feeling. And when they feel it, they have a good performance.
Okay. I just want to know actually for my audience, what is the difference between neurofeedback and biofeedback? I know there's a basic difference, but the budding sports psychologist would like to know the basic difference between both, or these both are the similar technologies, maybe with the different functions.
Mm-hmm. So there is biofeedback, which basically means feedback of a body function. And there are different groups. And one group is the neurofeedback, who gives you feedback from the central nervous system, our brain, directly. And then there are peripheral bioparameters like muscle tension, skin conductance level, temperature, pulse rate, and so on. And they give you feedback about the peripheral nervous system. So that's the difference. The neurofeedback is from the central nervous system itself, and the peripheral biofeedback is from the peripheral area of the nervous system.
So, is there any type, like different types of? I do kind of know that there are modules within the biofeedback, as you just took name of those modules. So, can you please elaborate the functions of both technologies, neurofeedback, biofeedback technologies, and the indication when we can use this module in what kind of situation, like suppose HRV module. So, HRV module is helpful for what kind of situation? Or skin conductance, or temperature, or motility, uh, pulse rate, breathing.
Mhm. Yeah, I try. So one thing that is really important is that there is no best parameter that fits all athletes. Every person is different and reacts differently also to the same stressors. So what is important in the first step is to do a good analysis with as many parameters as possible so that you have an overview about the individual stress regulation of this specific person. So for example, you can see that under stress, one athlete gets sweaty hands, cold fingers, and another athlete maybe doesn't know that feeling at all. And so it depends on how people react in this first analysis. And then you can choose the parameter that fits the best to that person. You already mentioned a few training parameters. I will try to talk about that as well. A very often and common used biofeedback training is the training of the heart rate variability, short HRV training. That is measured using an ECG and means the variation in time intervals between heartbeats. And that reflects the body's ability to adapt to stress and maintain optimal functioning. So the higher the HRV, the better. And by learning how to control their HRV through techniques such as breathing exercises, athletes can learn to directly regulate their autonomic nervous system, which controls heart rate and other body functions. So that is really effective if you need an athlete to be calm at some point of his peak performance journey. I could show a picture where you can see the relationship between pulse rate and breathing. Maybe that makes it a little bit more good, if you like that.
Please go ahead. Actually, I think the audience will like to see all these graphs.
Yes. So for example, that is a slide where you can see what an athlete would see during an HRV training. It is really simple feedback. It's just a line representing heart rate. That's the red line. And the blue line represents the breathing pattern. So when the line goes up, the athlete is inhaling. When the line is going down, he is exhaling. And the exercise here would be to find out which breathing pattern makes the heart rate the most flexible. And here you see in the first few seconds, the person is breathing fast, and you see the heart rate is not very flexible, and it is also accelerating. And then the athlete changes his breathing pattern, is breathing more slowly, more in the abdominal area. And within 1 to 2 breathing cycles, the heart rate changes. Suddenly, it reacts to the breathing. While you're inhaling, the heart rate goes up. When you're exhaling, heart rate goes down again. And so now at this moment, the athlete has total control over his heart rate. And that just because he found the right breathing pattern he was trained to do. So, for example, you could say to an athlete, breathe calm. And maybe he is doing this breathing pattern like here in front, and he would feel not relaxed because he doesn't have the control over his heart rate. But when he knows, okay, I have to breathe like that, then it works. And normally it is enough to show that to a client 3 to 4 times, and then his body will remember this kind of breathing that is best for him. So that's really efficient. That is another example. Here we see the skin conductance level. And the training was preparation for a competition. And it was a short stressor, and then the athlete should relax again. And he should learn to use the short time of relaxation to calm down again, to reduce his stress level so that he can stay focused. On the left side, we see the result of the first training session. There we see at the beginning, there is a good baseline. First stressor comes. It was noise from shouting from the audience that made the athlete nervous. And the nervous system reacts to that sentences. And he should recover from that noise as fast as possible. But in the first session, you see these sentences still were in his head, and they affected the stress level. And then the stress sound came again, and you see the stress level rises and rises. And at the end, the stress level was much higher as at the beginning. After 10 sessions, he was able to apply breathing techniques and calm thoughts to relax his nervous system. And you see every time when he should relax, the skin conductance level goes down. The stressor still affects him a little bit, but there is much more habituation. So after some time, he can always come back to his initial state of relaxation. And the great thing is that you see the progress on paper or on the screen after every session. So you know what is the progress? Do I need another training session, or are we already there that we can say we trained enough, now you're on your own? Because biofeedback and neurofeedback is just one step to self-control of the athletes. They should not use them all the time, every training. Just at some point, a few sessions to show him how it would work. Another example would be neurofeedback training. Neurofeedback training is especially helpful when athletes have troubles with concentration and focus. So not the bodily stress reaction is the problem, but just the concentration. One common and often used training protocol is the beta training, where you extract from the raw EEG signal the amplitude of the beta waves, and the more beta activity, the more concentration. And there you see on the top the result of the second training session. And you see the beta activity goes up, but after a few minutes it goes down again. So he loses concentration. And it's kind of hard for him to come back. So there's also a fluctuation in the concentration. And while competition, that's a problem, because maybe exact at that moment where he would need the concentration, it's down. And after the 12th training session, you can see that the athlete is able to maintain concentration much better, so that he can slowly go deeper into the focused state, and then he can stay in that highly concentrated state of mind. Yeah, so that were 3 examples where you can see different kinds of parameters and how change could look like after a few sessions.
Yeah, that was really nice to see those graphs. It was quite informative. Uh, Bettina, we are just heading toward almost the end of the show. Uh, I would like to ask you if you can please suggest some certification courses for our audience, those who want to do certification in neurofeedback and biofeedback training, and where they can apply and how they can apply and what are the eligibility criteria or the requirements.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so biofeedback, neurofeedback is great, but before you use such a device, you definitely should get familiar with the methodology and the technical equipment. I myself, I teach as a lecturer for the European Biofeedback Academy in cooperation with the Sigmund Freud University of Vienna. And there we offer a 6 days curriculum where you can learn all the basics and get practical training, so that you can integrate biofeedback into your professional work. For the course, you should have some professional background. So, for example, if you have a degree in psychology or medicine or sports and so on, that is sufficient to start the curriculum, because within the course you only learn how to use the equipment and what are the basics of the different parameters. In that course, we decided to work with the Neuromaster system from Insight Instruments. That is a biofeedback, neurofeedback device that is very easy to use and offers all the important parameters for biofeedback and neurofeedback in one device, and has a very elegant software package called BioLife. And so that's good, because it doesn't matter which area you're working on, you have a device that fits you. If you're interested in that, you get more information on the website neuromaster.net, and there you also can apply for that curriculum, which will also be available in English soon. So if you're interested, you can get information there.
Is there any other course which is kind of suitable for Indian students if they can come, and like there might be some other courses in Sigmund Freud University which you may suggest, or within Austria, for those who want to pursue their career in sports psychology or psychology?
Yeah, you can. It makes sense if you do a course with the equipment you are having or planning to use. So you can always ask the developers of these instruments which do they offer, because then you are trained in the device you use.
Bettina, we are almost about to finish our podcast. Is there any advice or suggestion for our audience? If you want to give some advice or suggestion to our audience, the last.
Um, yeah, I think overall biofeedback, neurofeedback offers athletes a unique opportunity to train their brains and nervous systems just like they train their bodies. And that is something sports psychologists should use more often um, to empower athletes to take control of their mental and physical states. Yeah, leading to greater success in their sporting endeavors. And I hope everyone who is interested in this topic is now motivated to read books, to search the internet, or to give me a call. Maybe I'm always happy to help. And yeah, maybe I come to India sometime.
You're most welcome to India. Hopefully, we'll see you soon. And thank you so much for uh, giving us your time, being on our platform, and more importantly, sharing really wonderful insight about the overview of neurofeedback and biofeedback technologies in sports training. And I also would like to thank my audience. These are some exclusive episodes which we are making a lot of effort to bring speakers from abroad. And I request my audience kindly go and watch this episode on YouTube on our YouTube channel, Sports Psychology India. And you can also go and check this episode on Spotify. Type Sports Psych Talk, and you will find our channel on Spotify. If you are traveling, if you're in metro or in a bus or traveling, you can just listen to our episode using a Spotify.